Good day, everyone. Today, I will be presenting about the impact of educational transformation on student social mobility towards producing global citizens. In recent years, the Malaysian education system has undergone many significant transformations introduced by the Ministry of Education Malaysia. These transformations aim to improve the quality of education and ensure that the students are well prepared to face the global challenges. One important aspect of these educational changes is the integration of which we call ICT, which is creativity, innovation, cloud computing, and information and communication technology, and we call that as ICT, into the teaching and learning process. With the rapid development of technology and globalization, education systems must adapt to ensure the students acquire the skills needed for the future. Education is also closely related to the concept of social mobility, which also refers to the ability of individuals to improve their social and economic status through opportunities such as education and also employment. Through quality education, students are able to develop knowledge, skills, and also competencies that can help them achieve better career opportunities and also improve the quality of life. I will give you one example, which is during the COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia, which on March 2020, schools implemented online learning using platforms such as like Google Classroom, the Lima account, and also Zoom. This demonstrates how technology has become an important part of modern education and how educational transformation continues to shape the learning experiences of students. Therefore, in this presentation, I will discuss the concept and types of social mobility, the factors that influence social mobility, the positive and negative impacts of social mobility, and how educational transformation in Malaysia helps produce global citizens. Next, moving on to the next slide, I will explain about what is the concept of social mobility. Firstly, let us understand what is the concept of social mobility. Social mobility refers to the movement or shift of individuals or groups within the social hierarchy of society. So, in other words, it describes how people can change their position in society based on factors such as education, income, occupation, or social class. Social mobility is important because it reflects the opportunities available for individuals to improve their living standards. When people are able to access equality in education and employment opportunities, they can achieve better economic stability and also social status. Education is considered one of the most powerful tools that support social mobility because through education, individuals can gain knowledge, develop skills, and obtain qualifications that allow them to pursue better career opportunities. In Malaysia, education plays a crucial role in helping individuals from different backgrounds improve their lives. For instance, many students from B40 families, which refers to the lower income group, are able to pursue higher education through financial assistance such as PTPTN loans, Mara scholarships, and other educational funds. With these opportunities, students who may have started with limited financial resources are able to achieve higher education and eventually secure better jobs in the future. This shows how education acts as a pathway for upward social mobility and helps individuals improve their socio-economic status. Moving on to the next slide, which is I'm going to explain the types of social mobility. There are different types of social mobility. The first type is horizontal mobility. Horizontal mobility occurs when a person changes the position or job but remains within the same social level. This means there is movement but no major change in social status. For instance, a teacher transferring from one school to another while still holding the same teaching position. The second type is vertical mobility, which means it involves movement either upward or downward in the social hierarchy. Upward mobility occurs when a person improves their social status, such as obtaining higher education and securing a professional career. Downward mobility, on the other hand, occurs when a person experiences a decline in social or economic status. A good Malaysian example of upward vertical mobility would be a student from a rural area, for example, like in Sabah or Sarawak or Gerik, who works hard, gains admission to university, and later becomes a doctor or an engineer. The third type is intergenerational mobility, which refers to changes in social status between different generations within a family. For example, parents may work as farmers or factory workers, but their children can obtain higher education and become professionals such as teachers, engineers, or doctors. The fourth type is intragenerational mobility, which refers to changes in social status that occur within the same person's lifetime. For instance, a teacher who later becomes a school principal or an education officer after gaining experience and qualifications. So these types of social mobility demonstrate how education and career opportunities can influence individuals' social positions in our society. As for the next slide, I'm going to explain about the factors that influencing our social mobility. There are several factors that influence social mobility. So one important factor is, of course, income. They determine the level of resources that families can provide for their children's education. Families with higher income can afford better educational resources such as tuition classes, learning materials, or any private schools. And another factor is occupation. Changes in career or professional advancement can significantly influence an individual's social position and economic condition. Economic changes also play a role in influencing social mobility, and technological development and economic trends can create new job opportunities and demand for new skills. For instance, in Malaysia, the growth of the digital economy and platforms such as Grab and Shopee has created new career opportunities for young people. Furthermore, another factor is the change of residence. When families they move from rural areas to urban areas, they may gain better access to educational institutions, job opportunities, and also infrastructure. For instance, many families move to cities such as Kuala Lumpur or Penang to pursue a better employment prospects. So last, behavior and lifestyle changes can also influence social mobility. For instance, like improving communication skills, professional appearance, and social behavior may help individuals to adapt to different social environments. And last but not least, of course, marriage also can influence social mobility because it may affect an individual's economic stability and also social connections. Okay, let us move on to the next slide, which is what are the positive effects of social mobility? Because of course there's positive and also negative effects, but let me explain the positive side first. So social mobility can bring several positive effects to our education and also our society. Firstly, social mobility encourages our improvement in academic achievement, which is students who believe that education can improve their future are more motivated to study hard and perform well at school. Secondly, social mobility encourages healthy competition among students, which means that students compete in a positive way to achieve better results and secure better opportunities. And furthermore, increase in educational opportunities is also another positive impact. Educational reforms and government initiatives allow more students from different backgrounds to access quality education, which means that not only the students in urban area can access to education, but also for the rural people. For example, like in Malaysia, the government provides financial assistance from and educational programs for B40 students to ensure that they don't feel left behind in education. So social mobility also promotes social integration, where individuals from different social backgrounds interact and learn from each other, and this helps create a more inclusive and harmonious society. Overall, social mobility contributes to the development of a more educated and skilled population in Malaysia. So of course, if there's positive side, there are gonna be negative effects. So as for the negative effects of social mobility, there's one major issue, which is the digital divide, which refers to the unequal access to technology and internet connectivity. Some students may not have access to laptops, tablets, or even handphones, and also even they don't have internet connections. This issue became more visible, which is during the COVID-19 pandemic, when many students in rural areas they struggled to participate in online learning because they don't have the device and also the internet connection to study. So yeah, for example, the students in who study in Sabah and Sarawak sometimes face difficulties accessing stable internet services. Another challenge is unequal educational opportunities, which students from lower income families may have limited access to educational resources compared to students from wealthier families. So social mobility may also create a social tensions or conflicts when individuals experience large differences in social status. Furthermore, individuals may experience psychological pressure or even more simpler is stress as they strive to improve their social and economic position. Therefore, while social mobility creates opportunities, it is important for the education system to ensure equal access and support for all the students, whether they live in rural or even urban area. And let us move on to the next slide, which is educational transformation in Malaysia. The Malaysian education system has undergone major transformation through the Malaysia Education Development Plan from 2013 to 2025. And this plan aims to improve the overall quality of education and ensure that Malaysian students are able to compete at the international level. The transformation focuses on improving areas such as teaching quality, curriculum and development, school leadership, and student outcomes. Furthermore, technology integration is also an important part of this transformation. For example, like the government introduced the Lima account, which stands for Digital Educational Learning Initiative Malaysia, to provide digital learning resources for teachers and students. Through these initiatives, the education system aims to prepare students with the knowledge or skills and values needed to succeed in the global environment in the future. As for the next slide, we're going to see what are the students' aspirations. Okay, so let me explain. The Malaysian education system emphasizes the six key students' aspirations, which is the first one is knowledge, which focuses on ensuring students to have a strong academic foundation. The second aspiration is thinking skills, which to encourage students to think critically, creatively, and also solve problems effectively. The third aspiration is leadership skills, where students develop confidence and also the ability to lead and influence others positively. As for the fourth aspiration, is called bilingual proficiency, where students are encouraged to master a lot of language, but mainly Bahasa Melayu and also English, so that they can communicate effectively at both national and also global levels. The fifth aspiration is called ethics and spirituality, which focuses on developing moral values, integrity, and responsible behavior. And last but not least, the sixth aspiration is national identity, which encourages students to appreciate Malaysia's culture, traditions, and unity, and encourage patriotism in themselves. So schools support these aspirations through activities such as debates, leadership camps, and co-curricular programs at school. Okay, next we're going to see the school climate and also meaningful learning. Another important factor in education is the school climate, which is a positive school climate refers to an environment that is safe, supportive, and comfortable for students. When students feel respected and valued, they are more motivated to participate in learning activities. So good relationships between the teachers and also the students also can contribute to a positive learning environment. So modern education also emphasizes a meaningful learning where students actively engage in the learning process rather than simply memorizing information. I will give you one example. Like for example, in Malaysia, many Malaysian schools implement the STEM projects, group discussions, and also collaborative learning activities. Why? It is to encourage students to think critically and work together. These approaches help students develop important 21st century skills. So the next slide is educational innovation. Educational innovation is essential in improving teaching and learning. Some examples include blended learning, where traditional classroom teaching is combined with online learning. And another example that I can give is the flipped classroom, which means that where students review learning materials at home before participating in discussions during class. There's also project-based learning, which allows students to work on real-life problems, which helps them develop problem-solving and critical thinking skills. Teachers also use gamification. This one is really famous now, such as educational games like Kahoot, Playground, and many more to increase student engagement in the classroom. In Malaysia, teachers often use digital platforms such as quizzes, Kahoot, Google Classroom to make learning more interactive and enjoyable for all. These innovations help students develop their skills needed to succeed in the modern world. And for the conclusion, I would like to conclude that educational transformation plays a very important role in shaping students' social mobility. Through education, individuals are able to improve their social and economic status by gaining knowledge, skills, and better career opportunities. Educational reforms in Malaysia, such as the Malaysia Education Development Plan and the integration of technology, have contributed significantly to improve the quality of education. However, there are also challenges such as the digital divide and unequal access to resources must still be addressed to ensure that all students benefit equally from these changes. Overall, education remains a powerful tool that helps students achieve upward social mobility and prepares them to become responsible global citizens who can contribute positively to society and national development. I think that is all from me. Thank you.